46 people. Okay, it looks like most people are getting the new link and getting signed up. Close some windows here. Okay, it's 7:35. I'm going to get started here. We've got 50 people in the room now, so I think we've got enough to justify getting started here. Again, Paula will be joining us later this evening. Paula is in another meeting with US Soccer right now that was scheduled at the last minute that she had to attend. So the original link for this meeting did include, I believe, the accurate playlist. Gotta pull that up here to make sure that I'm on the right page with everybody. Yeah, so let's start with, I'm going to quickly put this on a moment. Copy, close. Okay, so I'm going to start with by sharing in the chat here the link, the YouTube for the first video. So that's been shared to the chat. For anybody who didn't have a chance to review it already, you can now go to the chat, click on that link, and watch the full video on YouTube without any delay. Hopefully there isn't too much lag from me tonight. I'm coming to you from a basement of a hotel in Utica, New York. So don't have my normal good internet connection that I usually have at home. So, but I will give you guys all about, let's see here. We got 20 seconds on this video, so we're going to go ahead and let you play through that. Let's see here. Okay, and then I'm going to also put up a poll. So launching clip, 3 questions there, 4 questions here. I would like you all to answer. Please go ahead and answer them. I'll give you about a minute to answer those, and then we'll discuss this clip. Stopwatch going here so I can keep an eye on that. Question in the chat about sending out the link, folks. It's just me tonight. I can't do 5 things at once. So the original email that was sent to everybody last night has the original clip or the playlist for tonight, and I just sent out the clip in the chat. I can't help you if you didn't sign up in time and didn't get the accurate link for tonight was posted under the clinic information on the tier program page. So sorry, but I can't run technical support and teach at the same time. So we're up to about 16 people who have answered, and we are a minute in. So I'm going to give you all another 15 seconds here, and then I'm going to close the poll. All right, I am ending the poll. Okay, so first of all, let me pull up the clip on my screen. On a moment here, and then we will share this. And I'm doing this through the actual clip instead of YouTube because that way I'm hoping I won't have as bad lag as I try to stop things. Let's jump to move the poll off to the side. I've just shared the poll results with everybody. Okay. All right. So the first question that I've got in the poll here is whether the goalkeeper or the player makes contact with the ball first. I'm going to jump ahead to the Zoom of this so we can get that answered fairly easily. Okay, so the attacking player in white never actually touches the ball here. Goalkeeper has his hands on the ball, and the white player crashes into him. So, and I see that I've got out of 28 answers, 27 people said it was the goalkeeper. Hopefully the person who said the challenging attacker just didn't watch it closely enough. So question 2, when is the goalkeeper considered to be in possession of the ball according to the laws of the game? And had a little bit of variation on this one. So 2 people said when any part of the hand is in contact with the ball. 10 people said when the ball is in contact with the hand and controlled. And 16 more said when the ball is in contact with the hand and is pinned. And I want to give a big shout out to whoever those 2 people are, because that's correct. Keepers touching the ball with their hands, you can't hit the goalkeeper. They are in possession, okay? If they are bobbling the ball, if they punch the ball and the ball leaves contact with their hands, then, at that point, they're not in possession and the ball can be challenged for. But when the goalkeeper has a hand on the ball, okay, you can't bounce into them. So that's very important to understand with these aerial challenges like we have here. Question 3, is an attacker permitted to challenge the ball when the goalkeeper has possession? And out of 28 people who answered, 3 said yes and 25 said no. The answer is no. Okay, when the goalkeeper has possession of the ball, he may not be challenged. You may not try to go for the ball. And I think that, I know that there's a minority of officials out there who want to give some sort of leniency to the attackers in these situations. The goalkeeper is exposed when they are reaching for the ball. They can't protect themselves. We cannot allow attackers to challenge for the ball when they are exposed like that. So then the 4th question, foul or good goal? And I got 8 people who said good goal and 20 people who said foul. And I'm glad that the majority said foul here, okay? If you let this go, then it's open season on the goalkeepers. Anytime they jump up for a ball, people are just going to throw themselves at it, and it's going to cause problems, okay? Again, I go back and I'm going to show you the slow motion. This goalkeeper is playing the ball. The attacker is looking at the ball, but at that point, he puts his head down and he's just crashing into the goalkeeper, okay? He is not trying to play that ball. He hits the goalkeeper there. And you can't say, well, the goalkeeper should just catch it, okay? That's not okay. The goalkeeper is exposed there. That could lead to it could even lead to an injury to the goalkeeper. So we cannot allow this play to end up with a goal. Okay, this has to be a foul on white. I'm glad that the majority seems to understand that. For those of you who are in the minority tonight, please adjust the way you protect goalkeepers when they're in the air. Okay. And I know that some people like to say, well, the goalkeepers jump up and they lead with their knee and stuff like that. I don't really care. Okay. You cannot throw a body at a goalkeeper in the air just to knock the ball loose. That's not how soccer works. Okay. Maybe other sports it is, not this one. All right. So I'm going to keep going here. I know that with a big group, I really can't have a lot of discussion here. That's why we're engaging with the poll questions. So I'm going to stop my screen share here. Real quick, what if the goalkeeper is dribbling the ball and an attacker kicks the ball in between the goalkeeper dribbling? The goalkeeper dribbling has nothing to do with contact with the hands, okay? We are talking about goalkeepers having contact with the ball with their hands. When that is the case, they cannot be challenged, okay? I'm gonna move on to the next clip. Quickly here, I'm gonna get a share and put it in the chat. Oops, wrong screen. Too many screens open. Okay, clip 2 is in the chat. This clip is 35 seconds long. We're going to try to get through all our videos tonight, but I realize that we oftentimes can't. Each video usually takes anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes. So go ahead and you should be about halfway through the video. Keep watching it, please. I am going to put up the poll to keep things moving. So once you finish watching the video, return to Zoom, and I will have launched the poll for this clip, which is called clip 4. It was going to be clip 4 last session. Unfortunately, Paula ran a little long, so we didn't get to them all. All right, so clip 4 has 7 questions associated with it. So a lot of these questions are going to be taken from the IFAB considerations. And this is how we want you to think about these sorts of challenges going through the IFAB considerations. Now, I'm not going to sit here and ask you all to do the considerations yourself. I'm drawing on the ones that are pertinent to this challenge. So watch the video, come back, answer the 7 questions. I am at, where I'm at in my stopwatch. We have you guys a minute and a half to get through all this. So. Okay, let's see how we're doing on that poll. Got 10 people answered so far. You guys are getting through it. Got another 30 seconds to give as many people as possible a chance to answer the poll. Okay, 10 more seconds and I'm closing the poll. We're up to 35 people. We're getting there. Out of 56 participants so far tonight. Okay, in 5 seconds, I'm ending the poll. Get your answers in. All right, poll's closed. All right, so let me get the video up and share my screen again so I can go through this and talk about everything. All right, move my poll out of the way here. Make it a little smaller so everything fits on the screen. Okay, so the first question, what amount of speed or intensity is used by the green defender on this challenge? And I got 44 answers. Nobody said low, thankfully. 37 said high and 7 said medium. And what I really want you guys to look at is, as a referee, and I know the referee is way back here, okay, and positioning is a topic for another time. But what I want you to understand is this is that player that's going to make the challenge for green. And look at how much time, granted in slow motion, we have to see the white player clearly going to get the ball first. Does that green player slow down at all? Does he look like he's going in with any type of precautions into that challenge? Okay. And the answer is, I mean, I would like to see 100% of people say that the answer to the intensity in this challenge is high. Okay. I realize it's from the front, and we'll get to that in a minute, but that is a high intensity challenge. And that green defender showed no inclination to slow down. Okay. Does the defender take the ball first? We got a little bit more than half said yes. And I would say actually, yes, I think he does get the ball first. Okay. Again, slow motion, benefit of the doubt, but he does go in and right there, he's on the ball. Okay. So he does get the ball first. Is there regard for consequences of this challenge on the white attacker? And I've got 7 people who say yes and 37 who said no. And I would love to get inside the minds of the 7 people who said yes, that green player is going in with regard for the consequences that could happen for that white player. That green player, again, I brought up the very first question, is this not slowing down? He's lunging in. Okay. And he goes in with so much speed, he is clearly going to hit that white player on his back leg. Okay. There is no regard for the consequences of that challenge on the white attacker at all. If you think that there are, you're thinking about this the wrong way. Okay. All right. Next, what part of the body makes contact with the opponent? And I got most people say lead leg, a few people say trail leg, a few people say body. You know, this one isn't quite as critical in terms of what part of the body the green player makes contact using, okay? In fact, it does look like it's mostly body to that back leg, okay? So that's important to understand here because we don't tackle with the body, okay? The body does not play a role when a player goes in on a slide tackle. And if they are, it automatically ramps up the level of the challenge. So understand that the fact of the matter is that this player is making contact with the body. Most of you felt that they made contact with the opponent with the lead leg. That's not the case. He is rolling his body through the knee of that white defender. Okay. Does the challenger make contact using his studs? We got a little bit more than half that said yes. Okay. I think the attacker or the defender is coming in with his foot down. Okay. He doesn't actually bring the studs up. And I don't see those studs actually make contact with the white player. Again, the force of contact is with the body here. On what part of the body does the contact land? Okay. And we've got the foot. I've got, almost perfect third here. Okay. Well, 10, 17, 17. Okay. So 10 people said the leg playing the ball. 17 people said the foot of the plant leg. And 17 said the shin above the shin on the plant leg. Okay. So hopefully we've watched this in slow motion enough times here to make it abundantly clear that the body makes contact up high. Okay. He's not making contact with the foot. Okay. He's making contact with the white player's knee. And again, that is a dangerous tackle. Okay. Should this be misconduct? Last question. And we said 2 people said, no, he got the ball first. Absolutely wrong, folks. Okay. I know he got the ball first. But getting the ball first does not make it a clean tackle. And you have to understand that the things that we have gone through are all questions taken from the IFAB considerations, okay? And this tackle is made in a manner that shows absolute recklessness, no care for the well-being of the opposing player, okay? So we've got 5 people who said it was just a foul, 25 people who said yellow, 12 people who said send off because the challenge used excessive force. What I will tell you is that if you show a red card on this play, I'm probably not going to argue with you too much because in a youth game, this is a pretty dangerous challenge. Okay. Again, if this number 2 for white doesn't get that back leg off the ground on the follow through here, play it through on the slow motion. See how he gets his leg up? If that leg is stuck in the ground, he doesn't have an ACL anymore. Okay. So if you want to call that a red card, I'm fine with that. It absolutely has to be a yellow at a minimum. Why do I think it's a yellow? Well, it's cut from the front, so the white player has the ability to see the player coming. That's why he manages to get out of the way and not, makes the contact less serious, okay? But all the other things that we talked about, the speed and intensity which the green player went in, the lack of care for the well-being of the white player, those define this as reckless. And we really should be seeing a yellow card for something like this. Because if he's just trying to take the ball, he's not going to go through like that. So that's all the poll questions. Let me go ahead and share those real quick, and then I got to check the chat here. I do want to go over one other thing quick while I'm sharing this is afterwards, if you watch what happens here, he kind of drags his foot over the top of him, turns around and stares at him. Okay, that really annoys me. I mean, the guy went in like an absolute lunatic and then stares down the player he just, trod on. That to me, I think that's, if you're not dealing with that by, properly punishing that player, you're creating more problems for yourself in that game. All right, so let's go over to the chat real quick, see what I've got here to answer. I'm going to go ahead and close my clip for questions. Let's see here. I do not see any questions in the chat right now. I'll give you guys, anybody want to make a question, please, not comments. 56 people and just me teaching tonight. It's hard for me to moderate. So any questions in the chat? No? Okay.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. I couldn't see from the video. What did the AR make? Did the AR flag it?
No, the AR did not flag it.
Okay.
But that's not the AR's job. The AR is looking through the back of the defender on that play.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
Yeah, good question. Stare down, yellow card worthy. Maybe, depends on the, that's one of the questions in the chat. Maybe it could be yellow card worthy. It kind of depends on the atmosphere of the match. Was that player causing problems otherwise? It may be enough to just pull him aside and saying, I'm giving you a card for the challenge. And I don't appreciate how you responded there because you put that player in danger and then you got the gall to stare him down afterwards. So this isn't WWE. So actually another comment there, the benches are right there. No, actually that's in front of the fans. The benches are on the other side of the field. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next clip. Let me get the share up in the chat. How do we do? I gotta look at my time too. Yeah, see, that one took 10 minutes. So I don't know if we're gonna get through everything tonight, but that's okay. I always give myself a little bit extra to give everyone an opportunity to get as much as they can out of these. So go ahead. The next clip is now, the link is loaded in the chat. Should be clip 5, I think is what it's called. MNSRC Zoom 2022 5. So this one's only 18 seconds long. I'll launch my poll. Only 3 questions, so I'm going to give you all a minute here to go through the clip and then answer those 3 questions. Okay, I got about 15 seconds for people. I don't want to spend too much time on this clip. All right, 5 seconds. Okay, I'm ending the poll and I'm sharing the results. So let me queue up this clip. Kill the sound on it this time. That's better. All right, and then we need to do a screen share. Okay, so on this one, we've got a challenge in the middle of the field between a white player and a black player again. White player followed by the black player going in front. Okay, and we got it in slow motion again. I'm going to play this through, and again, I realize it might be choppy on your screen, so use the YouTube video if it is choppy so you can see things a little more smoothly. So the first question in this clip is, does white commit a charging foul? And I got a majority of people who say yes. Okay, what I want to point out on the slow motion here is this charge is shoulder to shoulder. The ball is present, okay? And if you look at the follow through, the black player isn't gone, he's thrown off the ball, but he's not gone tumbling here. At this age level, okay, this degree of physicality is acceptable, all right? This is a legal charge by the white player. And I realize it's probably a little more physical than some of the other crashing intos that you'll see, but I think that this is actually something that you can live with. Now, if the game temperature has been a little hot, if people are screaming and they're getting kind of angry, and you want to call this just so that you don't allow any more physicality to boil over, then I think it's okay to call it. But I am going to tell you that the parameters for what makes a legal charge, okay? 1, shoulder to shoulder. 2, the ball is present, so the player is challenging for the ball. And 3, the player does not use more force than necessary. All those things can apply to this challenge. So now, does black then commit a charging foul? Because here's the deal, black's pissed off after that. Now, with that play right there, black is throwing himself into the white player. And yeah, the ball is present, but he's not going into the shoulder. And he's just flying through because he's angry that he got chucked off the ball. That is actually illegal, okay? So I've got a majority of people who say that the black player did not commit a charge here. And I think that if you want to say, well, it wasn't a charge, it was a push or something else, I can live with that. But black commits a foul, okay? Black's not playing the ball. And it's pretty obvious from the body language that black is not playing the ball. Is black guilty of misconduct? Looks like 3 out of 4 people say no. I think you got to be careful if you choose to give the black player a card here, even though I do agree that he is not playing the ball. One of the issues that we're going to see with giving the black player a card in this situation is that he's going to be mad about the physicality of the original challenge. And you're going to have a hard time with balance if you choose to book him. You can talk to him. Okay, you can call the foul, hold up the restart, say, hey, that was a legal charge. You need to control yourself. And I think that's a good way to manage that situation without necessarily having to go to the book. Now, if Black 22 has been committing all sorts of dastardly things all game long, then maybe you go to the pocket for persistent infringement here. I can live with that too. But I would tell you that I would say at this age level of play, okay, so this is about 16, 17-year-old boys, the original challenge is legal, okay? The second challenge is retaliation without an attempt to take the ball. And I'd like to see you deal with it somehow. I don't think a card is necessary, but I think something else should be done. So in the chat, what do I got for comments here? This a little bigger. Okay. It seems like the black player tried to throw himself into white, but white dodges him. Would that still be a foul because of the intent of black and maybe creating some obstruction? Well, first of all, there's no obstruction anymore. Okay, it's called impeding. And because impeding has to involve a player who's not actually trying to play the ball, I think that's probably pushing it here. I think that there's a little bit, this is probably too physical an attempt by Black 22 to hit the white player without trying to make a reasonable attempt on the ball. So I would say no, I would not call impeding here. It is a foul at least because he is not attempting to play the ball. Okay, that's where I asked the question in the poll about charging, because you guys need to keep coming back to charging, legal charge, shoulder to shoulder, an attempt to win the ball, and not using more force than necessary. Okay, and in this, in terms of 22's challenge, he is not making a play on the ball here. Question, black cut in front of the ball in front. How is he not playing the ball? Okay. I have to play it back for everyone here. Okay. You got to start with the actual challenge. Okay. Right there. Okay. He is driving his shoulder into the player. He's not even going to go shoulder to shoulder. The ball is bouncing away from them. Okay. And he goes past the ball. He's not trying to play the ball. You compare that to what 23 white did. He's got the ball at his feet. Okay. So very simply, the black player is not attempting to play the ball here. And white did not come from behind. Okay. This is a challenge made shoulder to shoulder from the side. Okay. Is it a foul if black doesn't touch white? It certainly can be. If you think black is just trying to hit white for the sake of hitting him, then yes, it absolutely can be. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next clip. I got to stop my screen share. Hang on. Stop share. There we go. Okay. What do we got here? This guy. Okay. So it should, your next one will say MNSRC Zoom 6, and it is, it's not in the chat yet. Hang on here. Okay. Clip 6 is now in the chat. You guys could all take a look at it, please. This clip is only 18 seconds long, so I am going to activate the poll. This is a real quick one in terms of the poll. It is one question. Let me give everybody another 15 seconds because we got a one question poll. We should be able to get through this pretty quick tonight with this particular clip. 5 seconds and I'm shutting the poll down. All right, I am ending the poll and I am sharing the results. Okay, so we have 6 people who say there's no misconduct. There are 25 people who say yellow, and there are 9 people who say red. Let's go ahead and get this queued up here. And then I need to not share screen. All right. So play this through. I'm going to play it the full speed one first, but then we're going to zoom in again, see it in slow motion. Okay, this is the touch line right here, folks. This ball is going out off white. Black is escorting the ball over the touch line. This should be a red alert, red flag situation for all of you. Whenever you have a player escorting a ball over one of the boundary lines and an opposing player coming from behind, you need to be ready. You need to expect the worst. Hopefully, most of the time, the player coming from behind will use common sense and not do something stupid, okay? But you need to be ready for the worst, okay? So this ball is going over the touch line, and the white player comes from behind and collapses the leg of the black player, lunging for the ball. Now, I know there are certainly coaches out there who teach their kids, balls in play, you go 100% or 110% or whatever that's supposed to mean, okay? And they encourage kids to play hard to the whistle and all that other jazz, okay? But this sort of challenge crosses a line, all right? Because what are the odds are that that white player is actually going to save this ball from going out for what amounts to a throw-in in the center of the field, a completely harmless restart? Does this lunge, is it really warranted to save the ball from going out for a throw-in here? Okay. And if not, how you deal with that is going to impact the level of physicality in your game moving forward. Okay. So I'm okay with a red card here. I think it can be justified. At a minimum, yellow card. Okay. And what was called on this play is the referee gave a throw-in to black. There was no card given on this play. And what you can see on the pulled back version is the assistant referee, AR2, okay, down here in the corner, sees this happen, and he starts walking up the field, and he's looking at the referee, and he's telling the referee, okay, I know, I talked to him after the game. He's like, I'm telling him he needs a card, okay? And the referee waved him down. So what I want you to understand in this situation is the assistant referee understands he has the best view of this. He sees what's happening, okay? And he's showing urgency by coming up the field. He's going to be running if 7 pops up and gets in 2's face, or if any of the black teammates come over and get in 2's face, okay? But he realizes that this is a bad challenge. And as a referee, if you're working in a team here, you at least have to listen to what that AR has to say. Because if I'm the AR and I'm telling you that was a horrible challenge and you're blowing me off and saying, nope, it's a throw-in, then as AR, you're on your own, man. You got all the throw-ins the rest of the game. I don't have to help you. You're obviously not interested in getting my help, okay? So that's really the main basis of these clips, is understanding we got a boundary line challenge, which should be raising your hackles, okay? And use your assistant referee, recognize your assistant referee sometimes has input that is useful. Why didn't the AR raise his flag? That's one of the questions in the chat. And the answer is because it's not a foul. Ball's out of play, okay? And you can say, oh, yeah, it is a foul. Ball was in play. That's fine, whatever. But the AR wanted a card given for the challenge and a throw into black. And that's a perfectly reasonable outcome here. But you only raise the flag here if you're calling a foul. But you can still advise people, yellow card misconduct. He was actually yelling it. That's got to be a card, which looks even worse than when the referee doesn't do it. So Work as a team, please, and understand when your AR has superior positioning and can help you. All right, clip 7. Let's get that loaded. And in the chat, oops, hang on a minute. All right, clip 7 is in the chat. This one's a little bit longer, not terribly longer. It's 22 seconds long. So I'm going to load the poll as well. Got 20 minutes left in this session. All right, the poll is up. There are only 2 questions in the poll. So I'm going to give everybody 45 more seconds. Okay, 10 more seconds, everybody. Well, yeah, 12, and now we're up to 16 people answered. Now people are getting their answers in. I'll give everybody 10 more seconds because I'd like to see more than 25 people answer this. All right, I am ending the poll. Awesome. All right, sharing the results. And then I'm going to load this up so we can cover this.
What's up, Easy? Come on.
We need everybody to mute themselves, please. Share screen. All right. Okay. So questions. First question was, who has the best view of this challenge to determine if a foul occurs? You got 5 people who said the referee, and I got 36 people who said the AR. At the point of the challenge, right there, how many people are between the referee and the challenge? Okay. See if I can draw without messing this up too much. Annotate. There we go. Circles. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 players were in between the referee and the challenge. And yes, we can certainly discuss whether the referee is in the proper position for a challenge that's being made on the boundary of the penalty area. Is not, but that's not the point tonight. Okay. Simplifying things a little bit here. And we're talking about teamwork on this play. So AR1 has pretty darn good, a pretty good view of this, to be honest with you. He's looking, granted, he's looking through the back of the play, but as a referee, if this is where I am at on this play, I need to recognize that I've got a lot of visual obstructions, and my AR probably has a better view. Okay, so to clear my drawing so we can see it better. So that being said, let that go away. So he goes down, AR flags, okay, and the referee says no. Body language from the referee there says, I don't give a rip what you think, AR. Okay, that's what he's saying. I'm not calling that. All right. And again, if I'm the assistant referee, and this is my first attempt to provide assistance in this match, and this is what the referee does to me, man, you got every throw and goal kick and corner kick from there on out. You're not getting any help from me. I'm just window dressing anyway. That's what you're treating me like. So as a referee, understand when you are, if you don't have good position, and it happens to the best of us. I'm almost 50 years old now. I cannot get in the best position anymore. If my assistant has a better view than I do, I'm going to respect that opinion. Okay. And on replay, there's the touch by black, and there's the trip. I can't tell if it's in or out. Okay. So when this follow-up question was on the poll, what does the AR do? Drape the flag at the waist, jog to the corner flag, or both? And it was pretty balanced. You got 3, 3, and 3, or about a third of everybody dropped into one of those 3 categories. And the correct answer is we only jog to the corner flag. Now, the drape at the waist signal was eliminated, I want to say about 3 years ago. It's no longer in the FIFA, the laws of the game. So what you do is you signal, put the flag up. When the referee blows a whistle, then you jog to the corner. This AR, of course, if it was in the penalty area, I'd never had a chance to jog to the corner because the referee waved him down. So let me go to the chat, make sure I answer the questions here. I've certainly worked with centers who very forcefully say all PKs calls are mine and mine alone. Okay. And that's a great point, Josh. And thank you for bringing that up. I will tell all of you that if you are in your pregame and the referee says anything in the penalty area is mine, okay, then hey, it's his or hers, I should say too. That it's a dumb thing for a referee to say. I am hoping that everybody on this meeting never says that to their assistant referees in pregame. But if you hear that as an assistant referee, you need to follow those instructions. And I'll tell you right now, if you're working with a mentor or an assessor and something happens and the mentor or assessor says, hey, you know, you had a pretty good view of that, assistant referee. Why did you not call penalty kick? My response to that situation, my referee said he was going to call it or she was going to call it. So I kept my flag down and they'll say, well, did you think it was a penalty? Yeah, I did. But I was told not to make any decisions. And what will happen is that mentor or assessor will turn on that referee and pound him into goo, hypothetically speaking, of course, not physically. So you as a referee, the proper thing you should be saying is if you have a better view, if you are 100% on a penalty, stare me through the back of my head like I'm a deer in headlights, okay? You know, look like you want to make the call. If I think you've got better positioning, I will look at you. I may even point at you, okay? We want to get this right. If it's in the penalty area, let me see if it's like, let me call it first. But if it looks like I am missing it, then stare me down. Don't go straight to raising the flag, which I would tell you is probably one of the mistakes that this assistant referee makes here, unless it's outside, because if it's outside, it absolutely is in his area of control. But if it's in the penalty area, as an assistant referee, I want eye contact from the referee before I flag a penalty. I want that referee to be looking at me and saying, you know, giving me the I need help look. And if they are giving me that, then I will call it. Okay, I will not impose myself unless I am told by the referee to impose myself. Now, there's a flip side to this too, and that is the referee who says, hey, anything in your area, it's yours. Okay, if I'm an assistant referee in pregame and the referee says that to me, I'm like, whoa, red flag, man. You want me to call a penalty kick? And they say, yeah, it's a penalty. If it's a penalty kick and you see it, flag it. Like, how many times do I get to do that in a game? And then, you know, put them on the spot, start asking some questions to see exactly what they want from you, because we want to work them back to the middle. And I hope that makes some sense. That's the point of this clip here. Again, is it's a teamwork issue. It's recognizing as a referee when you don't have a good view of a challenge and trusting your assistant referees and building a sense of teamwork with them. So they feel like they can be trusted. So, all right. Let's stop that screen share, stop this share, and we're going to get the next clip up. 7, so I need 8. Okay. Let's copy this. Go to the chat. On the road here with a laptop, I don't have enough screen space to move everything around. All right, clip 8 is now up in the chat, so you can all click on that link and watch it. This clip is 18 seconds long, so I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. There are 5 questions for this poll, so I will give everybody a minute and a half to watch the 18-second clip and then answer those questions. How are we doing here? I've got 7 people answered so far. I know it takes a while to get through these 5 questions. All right, 20 seconds, folks. We're up to about 27 people now. 10 seconds, please. All right, I am ending this poll. All right, let me get to the clip and the screen share. Okay. All right. So first question, does white 8 take the ball before the attacker on this challenge? And I got 8 people who thought he got the ball first, 37 who thought he got the player first. So in slow motion, 8 white never really touches the ball. He kind of clips it there with his back foot. And he actually steps past the ball. Okay. And I guess if you want to argue he got the ball first, I mean, truth be told, it does look like he touches the ball before he murders the black player. So fair enough if you say ball first. I think the big question is number 2 here. Is he playing the ball or is he playing the attacker? And I really, really want to emphasize how 8 steps past the ball, okay, and then makes contact with the attacker coming in, okay? So he's playing the attacker here, not the ball. This is one of those defender challenges where they say either the ball gets through or the attacker gets through, but never both, okay? He's making sure about that. Does number 8 white appear to make this challenge with disregard to the danger for the attacker? Okay, and I got 38 people who say yes and 7 people who said no. Again, I'd love to get inside the minds of the 7 people there who said no. The way he steps into this, he knows that that player is coming forward with speed. He steps past the ball and throws his hip or his butt up into that player. Okay, that's not. He has no care for what the impact is for that black player there. Is there brutality? Okay, I threw this in there because I knew this one was going to be a tough one. A lot of people are going to look at this because of the outcome of the play and say, yeah, that was pretty brutal. And I guess I can't really argue with it because that black player did go flying. But I also would tell you that I think for brutality, what I probably want to see is that white player actually dropping his shoulder into the black player and leading with it. I think that would be more brutality. I think he's just kind of sticking his butt out there to make sure that he can't get through. So I personally do not believe this fits that consideration question that there's brutality present. I do understand, however, based on the outcome of the play, that the black player goes flying, and that makes it very easy to say, oh, there was some brutality involved there. Understand something, that question in the considerations, does the player use brutality, is a question basically translating to, is this red card worthy? Okay, so you got to ask yourself that as well. Okay, question 5, is it worthy of misconduct? I've got 5 people who said no, 34 people said caution, and 6 people said send off. I will buy the send off argument. I'm very glad that the majority of people say caution here. And I think the big reason why I think that this is a caution is because the player is stepping through the ball. He's stepping over the ball. He's playing the player. Okay. So I do think that fits that reckless description. Excessive force here. I know the outcome looks bad, but I think a lot of that is the speed of the black player, and he just catches him in the air, and that causes him to go flying. Having said that, it's really easy to give a red card here and sell it. I mean, what happened to the black player? It's pretty simple to sell. And honestly, if that black player, how do I put this, wasn't such a tough kid who wanted to pop up and was a smarter kid, he'd roll around on the ground 3-4 times and really make it look like he was hurt. And that would definitely sell that image of brutality. Obviously, professional players do that. A lot of kids haven't figured that out yet. But that definitely would add to the sell of a send-off. And, some players are smart enough to do that. So Let me address the questions in the chat. Let's see here. Throws his hip check on Black, nasty tackle. Just a comment, so no questions. All right. Let's move on. I've got enough time to do one more, which is actually great because the last two kind of go together and we're not going to get to them. So close that. All right. The chat has the final clip of the night. Should be number, it should say MNSRC 2022 Zoom number 9. And that one is 14 seconds long. I'll back in here. I need to start my poll. Ouch. Okay, 5 questions for this one. So I'll give everybody about, we'll say a minute, 15 seconds. I want to make sure I break it down. What are we doing on our poll? We've got 5 people who've answered so far. And we're up to 13. Give you guys another 20 seconds. All right, 5 more seconds, folks. All right, now I am ending this poll. Okay, I'll share those results quick. I don't remember if I shared them on the last one. Let me get this up and then we'll share my screen. All righty, so first question, does White take the ball before the man on this challenge? And I got 64% of people, 28 people out of 44 said it was ball first. Okay, does he get the ball first? Okay, would you really, one of the easiest ways you can determine who plays the ball first is watch how the ball comes out of the challenge. Okay, so I'm just doing like step by step, frame by frame here. Look at where that ball goes. Okay. He actually, I mean, he does get the ball, but Black plays the ball first, and then White comes through and gets it. And then White comes over the top and actually steps on his foot. Okay. So does White 12 make contact with the Black player with his legs or his body that are not involved in winning the ball? And I got 31 people who said yes and 13 people who said no. For those of you who said no, okay, the challenge on the ball is going to be that foot right there that he's sticking in his left foot, steps on the ball and causes it to pop out of there. But there's the contact with the body with the right knee of the Black player. Okay, that's not part of the challenge. Okay, we had another one earlier where we showed, you know, the green player going through that White player at midfield. Okay, if they're going through and they're making contact with part of their body that's not involved with the challenge, that's a problem. And that's why we're breaking it down this far. Okay, does White 12 act with disregard for the consequences of the opponent? I got 29 people who said yes and 15 said no. So you could say, well, he let out of the challenge, so he wasn't going to, you know, it's not as vicious as it could have been. But he also goes in making sure that his body is going to slam into the guy. Okay, that's disregard for the consequences to the opponent. Okay, he's making a decision to ensure that there's contact above and beyond what is necessary to win the ball. Okay. Then number 4, does White 12 exceed the necessary use of force on this challenge? And this one's a little closer. We got 24 people who said yes, 20 who said no. Okay. Now, it's interesting that we see this 24 people who said yes, and yet when I go back to question 3, more people we still have 15 people who said that he acted with regard for the consequences for the opponent. So it's an interesting shift in thinking here. Maybe people switched up halfway through. So I would tell you that excessive force here, probably not, okay, because it's kind of a glancing blow to the side of the leg. He doesn't go directly through the player. Honestly, that challenge with the green player, the second clip we looked at tonight, is way more vicious than what we're seeing here, to be honest with everyone that's watching tonight, okay? This one's got a little bit more of an angle to it, and therefore is not as serious a challenge. Still, without regard for the safety of the opponent, however. So does this challenge deserve misconduct? I got 17 people who said no. I got 24 people who said caution and 3 who said send off. I would encourage people to think yellow card here, and only because of, again, there is no regard for the safety of the opponent when he goes in. There's a clue on this play that tells you that you should expect a problem, okay? And that is when the ball gets played through and the black player takes that long touch. It creates a 50-50 ball between the two players, and they're coming in at a perpendicular angle, okay? So if someone wins that ball first there and the other person's going through up through hell or high water, you're going to have contact, and there's a good chance that contact is going to be reckless. So that's kind of the clue on this play. Real quick, heavy touch. Yes, Justin Lung, thank you for pointing that out. Heavy touch from the black player creates that situation. So, all right. So that is everything. Does anybody have any questions? You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask a question. It's 8:30. I don't want to take up too much more of everyone's time. I know that there's another session for the NPSL folks that I need to get to too. So no questions? Hey, thanks, Doug. Great videos and instruction as always. Greatly appreciated, of course. So, all right, everybody, I am signing off. Thank you for joining me from the hellishly hot basement conference room in the Utica Delta Hotel. I appreciate everyone joining me tonight, and thanks for coming in. We'll see you later.